Yes, Jimbo. Second as always. Nice, G-Dog. Good running. Well done, Ryan. Good job. Good job. Keep sending it. Come on. All the way in, Stace. Well done, Neil Dog. Rob, Raj, you can stop. Good job. Oh, yeah. What's up, gang? Believe it or not, it's a different day. It's Monday. So yesterday was the LDN X 10K at Wembley, which went really well. Exceptionally well, I would say. So the goal for me yesterday, as mentioned, was kind of around 37, but knew there was a big risk of injury and not finishing. The injury did rear its head actually. So around 4K, I started to feel pain. Up until 6K wasn't too bad, maybe 2-3 out of 10, and then it started building up. And by the time I finished, it was sort of 5 or 6 out of 10, which is better than it's been, so it's progress. And actually finished in 35.32, which was way beyond my wildest dreams. And also, I think if I'd have known I could sustain that pace across the 10K, then perhaps I probably could have started a little quicker. Now I know that would then say, well, maybe I wouldn't hold that pace and it would drop off, and that's true. But I think probably, or possibly, I actually did start somewhat conservatively. So I stayed in the lower ends of zone 4 and the higher ends of zone 3 for kind of the first 5K, and then kind of kicked on, but really good. Beth PB'd as well, 52 minutes. Tam PB'd 52 minutes, and Vicky PB'd with 58 minutes. So really, really promising, really good stuff. Great day out. Achilles is suffering today, but that is the thing with tendonitis. It will flare up, it will be sore. So we'll be off feet running for a little while again. So probably, maybe the whole week, maybe up towards the end of the weekend. But that was a real kicker and a real confidence boost in terms of saying, okay, you don't need to run, especially when I was like running uphill and stuff like that. I was overtaking a lot of the really good runners, or they looked like really good runners, and they were sub 35. So, but up the hills, I was really strong. So loads of confidence, loads of positivity there that the biker, the ergs, etc. are really working. I guess it goes to show that there's many ways to skin a cat. So it's bank holiday, the sun's out. It's a normal work day for me. So I'll leave it there for today. And we're back in the gym again tomorrow morning with 4 sessions and a double training day. So we'll take you along there. Would you do it for her? Oh Lord, would you do it for her? Oh Lord, would you do it for her? Oh Lord, would you do it for her? Wednesday, hump day. It's been a long week. So I last checked in with you Monday, I think, about the 10K. So it went really, really well. 35 minutes. As I said, major flare up in the Achilles, which rendered me useless Monday. Tuesday was particularly bad. And then Wednesday, I woke up and it was completely fine. So I'm starting to get to grips with how to manage this a little bit mentally. Physically, obviously, Gaz and Plug-in Rehab and Red On are looking after it. Mentally, it's not been as easy. So we're looking for cues on when's a flare up, when am I pulling back, or when should I be pulling back, or when am I basically able to run through it. So obviously had tendinopathy, and now we're going through the process of rebuilding it and strengthening it, which means we do have to manage load. And load is, does it hurt, when does it hurt, how much does it hurt, how long does it take to settle, etc. So it's a bit of a tricky one to manage mentally. However, yesterday, so Wednesday felt, it's Thursday today. Wednesday felt very, very good. It loosened off, so putting a 1K run after my training session, that felt good. Just done a skier training session now, and I've put in a 3.3K run. It wasn't meant to be 3.3, it was meant to be 3. Just to feel like how it feels. So Gaz has got me doing strength work with the speed work in my sessions in terms of getting the intensity up. It's going to flare up, and the strength work we're doing and the rehab work we're doing should manage it, but it's quite tricky mentally. So for me, the easiest way to do it would be to ease back in, which is probably what a lot of physios would say, but I think with tendonitis, it's going to flare up or it isn't. So rather than wasting time on effectively junk kilometers, that's their interpretation of it. So put a 3K in today. I'm just trying to build a little bit of a confidence boost, which means I've run 4K in the last couple of days and a physio appointment, so it's been pretty poked and prodded, and ankle's been a bit sore. So we're gonna take a day off tomorrow in terms of running anyway, and then we've got a speed session, which is quite heavy in terms of kilometers, on Saturday. We will see how that feels, kind of how it feels tomorrow afternoon, and then make a judgment call on what that looks like for me, and whether I do that session or we change the session or whatever. So the key for me is to get running in terms of building confidence. I'm personally not too fussed if I'm doing run speed work, because I did it on Sunday and I know I can pull off that sort of 10K. I know I'm a lot stronger than I have been going into any of my HYROXs. So in terms of performance capacity, I'm quite confident. However, the more speed work I can do, the better. So it would be better for me physically to go out and do this speed session, which is like a 10-minute warm-up. 2K fast, 1K slow, 2K fast, 1K slow, and then, which is 3, 6, 8, maybe another 2K fast and 1K slow before going into a 10-minute cool down. So that would be much more beneficial for me physically than doing a 5K run. But if that then creates a flare up where I can't run for another 4 or 5 days, then for me that makes it harder to manage. So we're playing the game of managing mentality and the physicality of it. But 4 and a bit K in the last couple of days is a good step, it's good progress. So yeah. So a bit of a busy week that week. So obviously now coming into it, we are 3.5 weeks out, 4.5 weeks out. And yeah, massive week. So last spoke to you on Wednesday, lots of training's gone down. It was a massive training week actually. So obviously we are on Sunday and we racked up 17 hours of training. We got the Saturday pacey running, which was particularly sore on the Achilles again with the pace, but so that was yesterday, settled down really nicely today. So yeah, so the goals are moving. We're going to Oslo, 27th of September, fly out the Saturday morning, race Saturday night, and then we've got a relay on the Sunday as well, looking to effectively come home with a couple of flags. Really, that's the goal. But early race in the season, we don't know what the standard's going to be like. We don't know how intense it's going to be in terms of competition, but that's okay, because the first goal for me is to go there and feel prepared and like I've smashed my training and my preparation. And then the goal from there, this next goal would be to get back down to sort of the hour 2, hour 3, first race of the season. And then flags, podiums, pending, qualification, that's all to an extent out of my control. All I can do is turn up on the start line, feel prepared, feel in control, feel ready to go, feel ready to smash it, and effectively enjoy the race. And if I do that, then you know what, the best result in the time is going to be in play anyway. Whereas if I put a heap of load pressure on myself, then we probably got some negative risk if I'm just heaping loads of pressure on myself. So that's episode 2, guys. Again, subscribe, follow the journey. Week 3, we're going to get more training content in. Week 4, 5, etc. And yeah, so we're going to go from there. Week 3 will include, hopefully, a trip to Snowdon as well. So we'll bring you along for that. And yeah, see what goes on. But make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and also make sure you comment. Let us know what you want to see. Is it more training content? Do you want to see more into the mindset of where we're at in terms of approaching this race, or what? Let us know. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and I'll see you on the next episode.